आज आम साथी स्टूडियो रे अछंती मैडम नादिया मुगबलपुर सी हेले ब्लॉसम स्कूल रो फाउंडर डायरेक्टर प्रभावशाली जने वक्ता तांकर बहुत सुनाम अच्छी गोटे भल टीचर हिसाब से बहुत सुनाम अच्छी आज टॉपिकटा आपण मानक अत्यंत भल लगे टॉपिक आज है बिल्डिंग क्रिएटिविटी एंड इनोवेशंस एमंग स्कूल चिल्ड्रेन रचनात्मक अभिनव प्रयास रे छोट पिला माने जो माने स्कूल रे पढ़ती से माने किमिति क्रिएटिविटी आउ इनोवेशंस को आदरेबे आउ आमर जो डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस रे से माने किमिति भाग नहीं पारिबे से विषय आज आम आलोचना करबा। तो मैडम नादिया को मु पचारुची प्रथम प्रश्न से प्रश्न हैला these days we are laying lot of emphasis on creativity and innovations, but I have noticed that mostly it is talked about at a very higher level, maybe in postgraduate or in PhD or even R&D, but in the school level we don't lay much emphasis on that. What do you feel about it? Don't you think school children should also be part of creativity and innovations?
Yes, Dr. Panda, exactly. I believe the same, but I also would like to emphasize that this would be laying the foundation of creativity and innovation. So if you really think of the schools having this type of approach, creative approach to learning, and if they let the students have innovative activities, let them think creatively, I think this would really make the foundation for all those higher educations as you were discussing.
बहुत सुंदर भाव मैडम नादिया कहले जे दैट इवन स्कूल लेवल रे जदि आमे जोर देबा क्रिएटिविटी आ इनोवेशंस उपरे पिला माने किछि अभिनव रचनात्मक किछि चिंताधारा तांगे निश्चय मन को नेबे ओ निश्चित भाव रे हमर देशन गठनमूलक भाव रे आगु निश्चय भाव रे बढ़िबो। तो मु गोटे एटे छोटे आपन अनदर स्मॉल क्वेश्चन फॉर यू मैडम, what is your view on taking creativity and innovations as a way of life? Because I personally feel that for everything what we do in life, it has to be creative and innovations so that people would think in a different way altogether, and I think that will also create some amount of excitement in our way of life. What is your take on that?
Yes, of course, I also agree with you 100%. Because it's like it's adding spice to our life. It's like when you do something with creativity, when you think creatively and you do something with creativity, it will also have impact the number of times more. So an innovation will also help you to come up with something new. It's like nowadays they are saying think out of box.
Yeah, right.
So when you think out of the box, it means go with some creative ideas, go with some innovation in any strata, in any field of life. Maybe at your school life, maybe at the home,
absolutely,
maybe in your job place, wherever it is.
Absolutely. I don't know, there is a feeling that more emphasis is being laid for creativity and innovations in the Western countries. And in India, we understand, I don't know, we understand that creativity and innovations are not given that emphasis compared to the Western countries. What is your take on that?
I just want to tell you that I differ in this regard. I differ from your view. So if you just let me have a free interface with you, so I should tell that rather in India, and particularly I can say in Orissa, we have a lot of creativity. Like you just move around and you see the creativity in our culture, in our heritage. In India, you see the nature. Everywhere you will find creativity, and you will be really, I mean, we all should appreciate that. At the national level, our national education policy is also emphasizing the recent one, the new national education policy, yes, 2020. Right. They also emphasize on developing this creativity in every level of education. They want the students and every individual to come up with creativity in their approach, and certainly it will bring a lot of prosperity for our nation.
Absolutely. I think definitely you will appreciate one thing, that as teachers, we need to identify the students and their potential so that their creativity can be directed in the positive track or mode, what you call it. I hope you appreciate that.
Yes.
You know. Identifying, the right potential, the right creativity, because, creativity and potential differs from one student to another. So, to nurture their creativity and innovations, you need to identify. I think teachers have a very pivotal role in that.
Exactly.
What do you feel on that?
Yes.
What is your feeling on that?
Yes, certainly, because I have been working with the teachers over 3 decades already, and I really see this, that unless the teachers themselves are not imbibing this creativity and innovation in themselves, they will never be able to discover it or identify it in their students. So one thing very important is that every teacher should think that how I can also have creative thinking, creative approach, and how I can let my students have the choice in their learning, in the way of learning, and give them a kind of freedom of expression, and come up with all these new innovative approaches to education, to teaching, to learning. So these all will help the students to develop that creativity and also go ahead with the innovations in their approach.
Absolutely. One word which you said really touched me when you said freedom. Actually, creativity is definitely a freedom, because you do something in your own unique way. But say, for example, you are doing a fantastic painting. Okay, now you do it in your own way, in your own freedom, you do your own way. But finally, when people see it, they will tell, oh my dear, this painting is no others but Madam Nadia's. Because, in your freedom, there is some uniqueness which will be appreciated by the people at large, and that basically is creativity, which I am sure you will appreciate.
Yes, that's very true.
Right.
And that is how creativity is being further developed.
Absolutely.
Because unless you don't give that choice to the students, that they come up with their own, like we have seen in several instances that how the teachers who are more friendly, more close to the students, they just left the platform for the students to open up, to show their talents, the talent shows that we have at the school.
Absolutely.
When you don't put much of limitations for them, they come up with the best performance.
Absolutely.
We call it as free expression.
Free expression.
And free expression is a creative expression.
Yeah, free expression is very much needed, particularly in the area of creativity and innovation.
Exactly.
I fully agree with you. Now, one thing is, we understand, quite often, people say creativity, innovations and all, everywhere, wherever you go, people. But I personally feel, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I personally feel they have turned creativity and innovations just into a slogan. Are really they are working and putting into action creativity, or just it is a slogan? What is your take on that?
Yeah, so let's first see how a slogan comes to existence.
Right.
The slogan has come into existence because of certain thing which has happened.
Right.
So the creativity and innovation must have happened, must have been visible and observed. That's how it turned into a slogan.
Right.
But let us make this a slogan into reality. Even if you feel that it is a slogan, let us put it into reality. Let's make sure that creativity and innovation is being inculcated in the students, and let it be really performed with absolute, openness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Now, one thing which I would appreciate is you are not only a good teacher, still more important is you are a trainer of the teachers. Now, when you do training programs for teacher, what type of innovations and creativity you inculcate in your programs, which creates excitement in the teachers?
Yeah, it's really a technique.
Yeah,
it's a technique. It just can't happen by itself.
Right.
So what usually I do as a trainer, like I first of all let the teachers feel that they are still in the learning mode.
Okay.
That is the first thing, that
Absolutely.
every teacher has to feel that she is in a learning mode.
Right.
So she also has to learn how to put questions, how to ask questions, and how to give creative answer to those questions.
Right.
And I also want this problem solving ability
Right.
to be developed into every teacher.
Right.
So what happens, like from being an active teacher, they should turn into a proactive teacher.
Proactive, yeah.
So they should go with the formula of problem versus solution, solution versus problem.
Right,
So I
right.
want every teacher to
Right.
look into every problem with a creative solution.
Absolutely.
And after every solution, again foresee or forecast
Right.
some other problems coming up.
Right.
So if as a consequence of this another problem is rise, you know, how you are going to
Prepare yourself.
prepare
for that.
yourself,
Yeah.
how you are going to come up with a solution.
Right,
So
right.
always to be a proactive
Because these
teacher.
days nobody is interested to listen about problems.
Yes.
Everybody is interested only in the solutions.
Solution. Yeah, yeah.
And creativity and innovations really plays a, I would say, a very major role in
Yes.
going for solutions.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Now, one little thing, you know, which really comes to my mind, and I thought I'll put it across. When we are talking of creativity, like for example in schools, you know, like for example toddlers, say for example class 4 and 5, like for example when you are in class 7 and 8, and again when you are in class 10 to 12, you know, there are different categories of students, you know, and could you please dilate on that, how you would be tackling this 3 or 4 groups?
Oh, so beautiful question. I'm so happy that this has come up, you know, because really one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
So there are different approaches, different strategies that we have to implement while working with the students. Like when you talk about the toddlers, okay, when the kind of a game which we give them, suppose you simply playing with the blocks, these Legos which we give to the students, like how you really, I always tell the teachers also, just observe, you be an observer and you see how these kids put these blocks together and what are they building, how these Legos are being put together. Or when you give a piece of paper to the child and you ask the child to scribble, do a painting, do a drawing, just make sure that you have provided all the colors to the child. Let the child have a choice of color.
Right.
That the child will put the colors together. Maybe the child doesn't want to put yellow sun, maybe she wants to put orange sun, you know, or maybe a tree is not all fully green, maybe there are some yellow leaves in that tree. It's okay. So let the teachers give that freedom of expression, freedom of performance to the students. This is with regards to toddlers. But when you go a little further, you go to a little higher
class
classes,
3 or 4.
3 or 4, give them that kind of, let them have the freedom of asking questions.
Yeah.
Because if they ask questions, you know, they always will look forward to an answer which will guide them right. So that is what we really...
you have to create that inquisitiveness in them.
In them,
you know.
yes.
That is very important,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because
And-
they'll be asking questions, you know, and they'll be asking some very peculiar questions, very unique questions. But
yeah.
the teacher must be prepared to answer that.
Exactly.
That is very important.
And one thing also that every teacher should know, that every question is a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
That when
Absolutely.
the child asks a question, it means the child wants to learn. And
Right.
if the teacher is mindful, and if the teacher has that, you know, she is imbibed by this creativity,
Right.
she will turn that question into a learning opportunity.
Absolutely.
And they will
Absolutely.
reinforce.
Right.
So when you go little to the higher classes, I always prescribe that the students should at times sit in a circular manner. The traditional sitting in a rows
Yeah,
of
right.
benches
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes is, you know, hinders the creativity
right.
and innovation in the children.
right.
So when they have kind of interface, when they sit like a open conference kind of a thing, they talk to each other in a round table, they always have, they tend to interact with each other, they tend to listen to each other, learn from each other, and that will develop creative thinking as well as creative behavior and innovations.
Right.
This again you go further, you think of the team activities,
Team, yeah,
or
right.
we call it cooperative learning.
Yeah, working together.
Working together. So cooperative learning.
Yeah.
So when the students start this cooperative learning, they understand that they learn from each other and the outcome becomes something much better.
Yeah.
So in cooperative learning and cooperative games, there is no loser.
Yeah.
Everyone has a chance to participate.
Right.
So
Great.
this reinforces the involvement, positive involvement of the child.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, since you are the director of Blossom School, what innovative or creative, active, you know, actions you have taken in your school to inculcate a sense of, you know, freedom, creativity among the students?
Yes, yeah. I would like to share it with my viewers. You know, like one of the basic beliefs in Blossom School is that every child is a mine rich in gems of inestimable values, and education alone can cause it to be revealed.
Right.
So every child has some potentiality. This is something that we really have tried to inculcate in every teacher, in every member of the school, not only the teacher, even the support staff, even the management, everyone have this understanding that every child has something to contribute to the school. And we also have learned to reassess our assessments.
Okay.
Just don't assess the children by the performance in regards to the fetching of marks, but also reassess them with regards to creativity and innovations.
Creativity, innovations, and more learning.
And more learning. And one more thing is to reinforce the achievements of the children. When you reinforce the creativity of the child, when you reinforce and identify and reinforce the
They build
innovation,
confidence also
they
in
build
them.
confidence and they go for further and further
Absolutely.
achievements.
Very right.
So these are some of the, of course there are
Yeah.
many more, but
Yeah,
that
right,
I would like to just share these few with
wonderful.
you.
Yeah. And one thing, which really comes to my mind, and I thought I'll put it across is, you see, earlier you must have seen in schools and colleges, what happens, there are appraisal system. Now what happens, now particularly, in the higher classes, they have turned out to be, the students will be giving marks to the teachers, whether they are good teachers or not.
Okay.
Earlier, the teachers were giving marks, how the students are. Now, what is your feeling on that, that, the students, like for example, I'm in class 10 or I'm in class 12 and, a sheet is being given to me, how is teacher A, B, C, and I tell somebody good, somebody bad, somebody average, and what is your opinion on that? Do you think that builds confidence or creativity in the students?
Yes, but that also has a limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything within the moderation is always appreciated, but once it crosses the limit, that may has its negative.
Yeah.
But it's actually said, it is said rightly that you receive what you give.
Yeah, right.
So if the teachers have really given that culture to the students,
Right.
the culture of appreciating, the culture of identifying, the culture of, progressing through what they learn.
Right.
So this culture, if it's given to them, they can certainly, I don't want to say that they evaluate their teachers or they give rank and grades to the teachers, but I can say they can appreciate.
Absolutely.
They can appreciate the knowledge which the teacher is giving, or rather they can appreciate the approach that the teacher, and they will build team. They will be good friends and they will help each other and they reinforce.
Yeah, because the relationship between a teacher and a student is very important.
Exactly.
And for example, whether I am doing the appraisal as a teacher or I am doing the appraisal as a student, it matters. It doesn't matter at all. What is more important is my proactive thinking.
Exactly.
That is what is very important.
Yes.
When I think proactively, obviously I'll be thinking it in a very positive way.
True.
And obviously I will not feel like giving negative marks. I'll always think of the positive aspect of the teacher, and definitely I'll give positive remarks only.
Exactly, yes.
And madam, one thing I'll just ask you, which you will very much appreciate, that since you are the director of a school and you have a lot of experience in teaching and you also train teachers, what do you think would be your message to the young viewers of our channel? What would be your message?
Dr. Panda, I would like to take this platform not only for the young viewers, but I'm sure I'm having viewers who are parents, I have the viewers who are teachers.
Right.
So if you allow me, I'll have message for all of them.
Right.
So it's I usually say there are butterflies in my tummy which will make me talk, So if I really get this platform as an opportunity to share this message, maybe at the outset I would like to address the parents, because they are always the first priority for me, that the parents are the foundation makers. They are the first educators. So these first educators should really, what we talk about, building creativity and innovation in the students or in the children, I think the parents are the ones who lay the foundation. So I request all the parents to be more proactive while dealing with your children, and to really give regards and rights to the child, and take that as an opportunity to first of all understand your child better and find the potentialities and abilities of your child and build on those abilities.
Absolutely.
So when you build on those abilities, you will see a lot of creativity, you will see a lot of innovation in your children, and you will find them to be good and obedient children. because you have given them the platform, you have given them the space. We
Right.
call it as a space.
Right.
You have given them the space to be who they are.
Right.
So if every child is not equal, everyone is different than the other.
Right.
So when we understand that my child is different than the other children, I may not necessarily expect more than what my child is able to do.
Right. Right.
And if you give them within their own ability, I'm sure that the children can excel and they will really come up with flying colors. This is for the parents. And secondly, for my dear teachers, that teachers, you are also nation builders, as is told rightly. And I'm sure with the new education policy, with the new kind of environment which every school is trying to create for the teachers, teachers can also bloom. They
Right.
can also, you know, express their feelings, and they can really be proactive. They can be more creative. Teachers can always guide the children accordingly. You as teachers have to reinforce all these talents which are in the children.
Thank you so much, Madam Nadia, for a lovely interface which we had in the studio, and we wish you come once more and have a detailed discussion on creativity and innovations. दर्शक बंधु बहुत धन्यवाद आमे आज नादिया मैडम टू क्रिएटिविटी इनोवेशंस उपरे सुनिले आमको अत्यंत भल लगिला आ मु भाबुची जे परे आउ थरे केतले मध्य मैडम आसिकरी आम स्टूडियो रे आम मानको मध्य किछि कहिबे बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत